Hello and welcome to Hot Money Technicals on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts then. Dhaneshwar Padwal of KIFS Securities. He's stuck in traffic, so he'll come in a while. Kunal Rambia of The Streets and Raja Venkatraman of Chart Advice join me on the show. Thank you to all for joining me on the show. But before we take the guest technical call, let's go across to Jayesh Khilnani, who tells us about a pattern that the Bloomberg terminal has thrown up on Bajaj Finserv. Jayesh, what is the chart indicating?
So Darshan, the chart is in fact indicating that there could be possible upside for the stock because there is a bullish engulfing at play. Now what the bullish engulfing is, you have to watch out for two candles, the recent two candles that you have, and it has to be a bullish candle that has to be at the end of it. So the last two candles, if you see, there is a red candle over here and the immediate next one is a bullish candle. Now the body of this bullish candle, or the green one, that has to completely engulf the body of the red candle. So at the moment it has slightly come off, but in case a while back it was actually bigger than this. So in case the stock actually manages to close higher than the entire body of the yesterday's close, then there could be a bullish engulfing pattern. And remember that this has historically worked very well. You can see that June 29th is where the EL pattern is. So this is what the bullish engulfing looks like. So in case today also we have a similar pattern, then we could see upside, and you can see the post pattern formation, how the stock has moved handsomely. So each trade, Darshan, in the last 1 year has resulted in upside of about 4 to 4.5%.
What's the second green box indicating?
So that is the MS pattern, which was formed earlier, but that did not play out. So what we have to watch out for is a similar EL that was formed in June 29th. So if that happens, then we could see some bit of upside for the stock.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Bajaj Finserv. We'll ask our experts. Kunal, any view on Bajaj Finserv? The Bloomberg terminal does indicate it's a positive sign. What are your views?
See, fantastic. Actually, this stock, your terminal has perfectly highlighted what's shown on the chart also. In, end of June 2018, we saw a massive breakout at 6,300 itself. Recently, the stock has come back to the same level and it is retesting that breakout level. If I look at the weekly chart, 22 weeks moving average is exactly at 6,300 and the stock has taken the support at this level. Any kind of reversal from this level may turn, good support, and you expect 6,750 to 6,800 in short time.
Okay, so another 300-400 rupee upside is possible if this pattern works out. Raja, are you getting similar trends?
Yeah, after some consolidation seen since mid-July, the stock has dipped down sharply in respect to the recent declines which is seen in the market. And the fall which is seen right now has come into 61.8% Fibonacci retracement levels, which is a good support area to buy into. So the Bloomberg terminal is definitely coinciding with a good support buy, and with the stop loss below 6,200 is what I envisage a good buy opportunity, which is possible if the stock were to move up. Okay,
so that's the view, positive views coming in on Bajaj Finserv. We'll move on and we'll talk about charts. Kunal has a chart, or he has an RSI chart on TVS Motors. Let's pull up the chart. Kunal, if you can join me. It's a falling triangle breakout. It's at 576. What does the chart indicate?
Yeah, perfectly. If you look at the entire rally, which is starting from 2013 till now, this stock was clearly in uptrend. This was a massive uptrend, and recently from December, January onwards, this stock is falling, and this particular pattern is known as the falling wedge pattern. Whenever there is a good breakout at this point of time, you expect a reversal to continue. What we saw last week was a fantastic breakout, but this week, because of selling pressure in the market, the stock has come down to retest the breakout level.
Okay. Is this what you mean here?
Yeah, perfect. So, here you can see the breakout in the last candle, second last candle, and the last candle, which is an ongoing candle. It's retesting the breakout level. By any chance, if the stock goes beyond 600, I would suggest a buy at this point of time. Keep the stop loss of 550. Expect the target of at least 750, which is a previous, spike level. If that level is reached, trail the stop loss on the higher side and continue, because I'm expecting a new rally to emerge after that.
So how soon do you see levels of 650, 700 to come
now
in?
Because we are looking at weekly chart of it, so this can be a positional trade, and definitely couple of quarters are expected to you need to hold the position for a couple of quarters.
Is there a strict stop loss that you would have, or is this a strategy that you would suggest averaging in?
Yeah, so what I would suggest is, if the closing of this any week comes below 550, definitely I would expect expect the position to close out. Otherwise, keep the position open, and every decline can be taken as a buying opportunity.
Okay, every decline can be taken as a buying opportunity. So, positive view coming in on TVS Motors. Thanks so much, Kunal. Raja, what's your view on TVS Motors?
Yeah, I agree with Kunal. The momentum indicators just suggest a positive move which has been witnessed on TVS Motors, but I witness a value area resistance around 600, and like he pointed out, unless I get a daily closing above 600 on TVS Motors, I would not be a buyer. But positive outlook is there, but one should be actually looking to wait for a closing, daily end of day closing above 600,
okay,
which will indicate a strong move to the upside.
So you're saying if it closes above 600, then only you will initiate any kind of position on
Yes, that's my view, yeah.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on TVS Motors. Let's move on to the next stock. Raja Venkatraman is betting on HCL Tech for the short-term play. Let's pull up the chart. Raja, you can join me here. Yeah. What does it? It's a rounding pattern, what Raja is saying.
Yeah, so if you see HCL Tech, over the last 3 years, there has been bullish momentum which has helped the prices retain to the upside. And over the last 3 years, we are having a rather large rounding pattern. And this pattern definitely indicates bullish momentum to the upside. And even if you see in the last leg, there has been a small rounding bottom. So rounding pattern which is indicating that there is continuous bullishness being witnessed, and taking help of the momentum indicators, we are taking the help of ADX, and the positive DI line is inching up, which says that the buyers are in control. Along with that, the ADX is also increasing up. That says that the strength is there in the positive side. So it's a good breakout buy, and the breakout which has been witnessed, it has been able to hold on to the selling pressure. That indicates that the bulls are definitely in control, and one could actually look at it from a positive perspective.
Okay, so it's at almost 1090 currently. What's your target on this one?
It's around 1150.
1150, that's your first target?
Yeah, that's my first target.
And post that, do you see even more momentum coming in?
To 1200.
To 1200.
Yeah.
Is there any stop loss that you would recommend?
Yeah, one could actually look to buy at current levels and also on dips towards 1065.
Okay.
Stop loss below 1050 would be, it's almost very tight stop loss. But the upside is quite high.
So if it goes below 1050, you would say exit this strategy.
Yes, below 1050 exit the strategy.
Okay, so this 1150 that you say that probably will come in, what's the timeline if someone is looking at it?
In the next 7 trading sessions.
Okay, so that's a very short-term strategy that you're seeing on the counter. But is there any risk to this counter? Because basically IT stocks are moving on account of the rupee. If the rupee starts to move on the other side, would you suggest exiting this
But
strategy?
then even the overall company performance and the order wins are all suggesting that there is bullish momentum in this stock. So that's why I'm suggesting even a buy on dips, also advocating a buy on dips approach as well.
Okay, so it's a positive view that's coming in on HCL Tech. Thank you so much for that, Raja. Kunal, what do you suggest on HCL Tech?
So no, I definitely agree with what Raja has highlighted, saying that the stock is clearly in uptrend. But my concern on this stock is that in April 2018, the stock made a high of 1090. Right now on the daily chart, what we are seeing is since 3 days, the stock is making almost the same top. So if it fails to surpass that high, I would expect the stock to reach at least 1060, near to what he highlighted as a stop loss. That would be the best level to re-enter the counter, and you expect then the recovery to continue. But as of now, this seems to be near to resistance mark.
Okay, Daneshwar, welcome to the show. I think traffic kept you away, but we were discussing HCL Tech. Raja has a bullish view on the counter. What do your charts indicate on HCL Tech?
Well, Darshan, if you look at the HCL Tech, so we have seen that the Infosys has participated into the IT index, and almost the TCS has participated into the IT rally and march into the uncharted territory. So I would feel that the HCL Tech was the laggers into the IT space, but recently we have seen that the vertical wave formation into the HCL Tech and march into the uncharted territory. So I could personally feel that the rally could continue towards the north.
Okay, any target and stop loss according to your chart?
As per the vertical wave rally, I could see the stock probably may hit towards the 1150 level, and traders can keep a stop loss of 1050.
Also, pretty much similar levels to what Raja has been indicating. We'll move on to the next stock, and that is Cadila Healthcare. Daneshwar, that's the stock that you want to speak about. Let's get the stock. It's a breakout pattern that Daneshwar is pointing out. It's all yours, Daneshwar.
Yeah, well, if you can look at the overall Cadila Healthcare chart pattern, so earlier we observed that the index has the pharma index has given a very good rally towards the north, and from that space I would take out the Cadila Healthcare, because recently we have seen that the after the bullish wave formation, the Cadila Healthcare was unfolded into the corrective pattern, and recently we have got the breakout on the downward sloping channel, and after the breakout the stock has tested the breakout level. Here you can see at the level of 400. So that could be a great buying opportunity by keeping a stop loss of 380 on closing basis for an initial leg of move towards the 440.
Okay, couple of questions. 440 is the first target that you're seeing.
Yes.
It. How soon do you expect that to come in?
I'm expecting that target will come within a month. And if you can look at the RSI, so can you just zoom out the RSI?
Yeah, sure. That will happen. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a supportive oscillator I have added into that, and if you can look at the overall RSI, it was moving in a escalating channel, and within that channel we got the number of divergence where these are the bullish diversion where the price is making new low, but oscillator is not making new low. So on that basis, RSI has shifted their range towards the bullishness. So I personally feel that the Cadila Healthcare would make a high of near about.
So this is the level that you're saying above. This is a bullish trend.
Yeah, of course. This is a bullish trend.
Okay, so it's 406. Any strip we can get the chart back. Any strict stop loss? Would you recommend any averaging?
Already stock has made a high near about 430-35 level and corrected from that level towards the 400 where the breakout is actually happened. So this would be a great buying opportunity, and traders can keep a stop loss of 380 because as soon as the price come under the territory of the downward sloping channel, so that pattern won't work.
Okay, the high pretty much was above 550. Is there any potential for this counter to go to those levels?
Yeah, of course. If you see the price could make out the close above 450 level, so we probably see the stock will march into the uncharted territory.
Okay, so positive view coming in on Cadila. Thank you so much, Dhaneshwar. Kunal, do you share a positive view on Cadila Healthcare?
Absolutely. This stock gave fantastic breakout last week itself. What we are seeing right now is it is retesting the breakout level. At the same time, today's low is exactly equal to 200 days moving average. By any chance, the stock goes above 415, I would go long on the counter, keeping the today's low itself as a stop loss on a weekly closing basis. And the target on the higher side can be expected in the range of around 500.
So you will buy only above 450.
Yeah,
that's
above 450.
Okay, Raja, what's the view?
Yeah, the view is definitely positive. And it has made 3 attempts to cross the levels like what Kunal highlighted, around 415 to 420 zone. So that is still continuing to act as a strangle point for the stock. Once it clears that, then it could definitely retest the highs because the bullish momentum is definitely there, and it could actually show a positive indication across all the parameters of technical analysis.
Okay, so positive views coming in on Cadila Healthcare. So we finished round 1. We'll move to round 2. Kunal now has a bullish call on Jindal Steel and Power. Let's pull up the chart. All yours, Kunal.
Yeah, so if you look at the Jindal Steel and Power, from 2010-11, the stock is clearly in downtrend. It's making lower top, lower bottom formation. This is the first time in 2016 that stock made a bottom. It reversed very fast. On the monthly chart, we can see that it's clearly making inverse head and shoulder. The last leg of shoulder formation is also showing us the flag formation. Flag formation breakout is at around 235 when RSI is making positive divergences on the monthly chart, quarterly chart, even on the weekly chart, which is a short-term time frame chart. By any chance the stock gives a closing about 235, I would suggest to go long on this counter, keeping the stop loss of 215. The first target on the higher side can be expected to say around 295, and beyond 295 a massive inverse head and shoulder breakout near to the bottom can open the target still 450 to 500.
So you're saying go long only about 235.
Above 235.
Before that you should not trade.
No, because that the consolidation phase may take little more time also. But as of now, I can say that the moving average which we are plotting on the chart is giving the fantastic support to the present.
I just want to understand where, from where you got 235. Can you
so 235. Here is a breakout of 235.
Okay.
If you just convert this chart onto weekly chart, you will find that breakout level of 235. 235.
Okay.
Any week closing about 235, the doors are open for 295.
Okay, so that's the strategy. Buy only about 235.
Correct.
Below 235, there's no trade on.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, and if it hits 235, how soon do you expect the?
Again, from 235 to 295 can be very short term. You expect the target within couple of weeks itself. But from 295 to 450 may take couple of quarters.
Okay, so it's more of a positional trade that you are recommending on this one.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Kunal. Raja, what's your view on JSPL? He's spoken about 235. It's more of a positional trade. Just a view on his. Do you believe that could probably happen? And if someone wants to take a position at this point of time, would you recommend, or would it be an avoid?
Right now, I would not recommend because it is actually oscillating around the similar levels around 200 to 220 range. And with the momentum indicators also not suggesting much participation, I would avoid this stock at this point in time. Okay,
avoid at this point of time. What about you, Dhaneshwar?
Well, Darshan, somehow I agree with the Kunal, because if you go to the weekly chart, so intermediate trend line resistance is placed near about 230-35 level. So I would preferable if the stock is managed to take out the 235 level, then we can see the probable target towards the 280-300 level.
Okay, Kunal, would you recommend someone keeping a buying stop loss on this one, because sometimes they might just miss the target? Is that something that you would recommend on JSPL?
No, not really, because it's a positional target. So I would wait for the weekly closing to turn about 235.
Okay, so 235 will be a Friday closing.
Yeah, Friday closing.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on JSPL. Don't buy at this level. 235 pretty much echoing across all analysts that that's the level. So keep this stock on your watch list. Watch out for the counter, and if it closes on Friday about 235, that's the time you press the button and you would buy the stock. It will be a positional buy, not below that. The next stock that we want to discuss is HPCL. Been on a pretty much downtrend. It's a sell call that Raja is giving. It's trading pretty much at the day's low. But Raja, what are you suggesting on this chart?
Yeah, on the weekly charts, actually after the impact of crude oil, the rise in crude oil has impacted the stock quite a bit. And if you can see, these set of this trend line support has also been broken decisively. And also using the Fibonacci retracement, it has broken the 61.8%. And the steady decline which has been witnessed is advocated by all the selling interest which is emerging at this stock right now. And even the momentum indicators suggest a fresh cut on the, I've used the MACD, where I can see a fresh signal being witnessed on the weekly chart. So I envisage a dip towards the next set of supports, which is the 78.6 level around 217. So that is my target for the next 1 week. And if the decline persists, it could also hit 200 levels within the next 1 month.
Okay, 217 and then go below 200. Is there a stop loss that you would want to keep on this?
So what one could actually do is one could sell here and on rallies towards 250 with a stop loss about 260.
Okay, since you're saying that the market, since it's been declining down so much, there could be a bounce back.
There could be a bounce back, so one could actually use rallies to sell.
And
there is still quite a bit
what
of
is the final stop loss that you would want to keep?
260.
If it goes about 260, that's
exit the trade.
That's the exit the trade.
Yeah.
The other part is how soon do you see levels of 215 and then 200?
215 within the next 1 week, say 7 trading sessions.
And among oil marketing companies, is HPCL the weakest among all three?
Yeah, HP and BP both are on the same paradigm.
Okay, so similar paradigm.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things.
Sure.
What's this blue line, just for the benefit of this thing? And
so what I have done is I have taken right from early March a Fibonacci retracement.
Okay.
So I have taken from this low to this low to find out where exactly the fall, to what is the extent of the fall.
Okay.
And what I saw was 61.8 is a very important mean.
Okay.
And out there you could see some bit of struggle happening here when price is trying to recover. But that couldn't happen, and you had consistent weekly decline.
Okay.
And now this week you are seeing a big red candle emerging, which indicates a selling pressure. Adding to that, you have the MACD, which indicates a fresh move to the downside.
Okay.
So all this combining effect gives you a good selling pressure, and one could actually look at it from the short perspective.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on HPCL. Thank you so much, Raja. Kunal, any view on HPCL? Do you share a negative view?
So, this stock is in clear downtrend since entire year. The stock has not even surpassed the previous high. Every high is taken as a selling opportunity. But, this is a level from where we saw breakout in 2017, before the massive rally also positively came in. So that level turns out to be around 230 itself. I would wait for a small bounce till near say 250 mark, which was a previous breakdown level, and then would short rather than shorting at this point of time.
Okay, so similar levels to what Raja said, that he said that if it goes to 250, shorted at that level, and if it 260 is a strict stop loss. Dhaneshwar, HPCL.
Yeah, no doubt about the oil and gas, because if you look at the relative rotation graph, so oil and gas is moving into the lagging quadrant, wherein the relative strength and momentum was very less, and we have observed that in 2018 the oil and gas turned out to be a laggers as compared with the Nifty indices. In that space, HPCL is moving in a clear downtrend, and probably we've seen the lower top lower bottom formation, and recently it has given a breakdown of near about 250 level, odd level, and trading at 235. So I would suggest to I recommend traders to wait for an 250 255 odd level to bounce back, and that could be a great opportunity to short.
So I think it's a consensus shorting opportunity that's coming in on HPCL. Kunal, just is all the three oil marketing companies showing similar trends?
Absolutely, they are just twin sisters, or you can say a couple of sisters moving together in the same direction itself.
Okay.
Every OMC will be a shorting opportunity.
And Raja, anything in the oil and gas space, because most of it, even ONGC and all, are not showing strength. Anything that looks positive on the oil and gas space for you?
No, none of the charts are displaying any kind of strength.
Okay. So that's the view that's coming in on HPCL, and the final chart from our expert, and then we'll have Jayesh coming in on the Bloomberg terminal, is Cummins India. That's the stock that Dhaneshwar wants to speak about. Dhaneshwar, the chart is here. It's done well of late, and Cummins came out with a strong commentary post the first quarter. Guidance was much stronger, so fundamentally it's doing well. On the technical side, Dhaneshwar is the expert. He'll give more
yeah,
sense.
Of course, if you look at the overall chart structure, so it is moving in a clear downward sloping channel, and within the channel, if you look at the supportive oscillator, the RSI has given a breakout. Simultaneously, second point, we are getting the positive divergence on the RSI, where the price is making new low and RSI is not able to make a new low. So that gives the strength to the RSI, and as well as we got the breakout on the RSI, which eventually pushed RSI towards the north, which will add value to the underlying. So I probably feel that the stock may hit towards the overhead resistance near about 900 level. So that could be my target, and traders can keep a stop loss of 690 on a closing basis.
690, 900. How soon do you see it? That means another 150 rupee up move. How soon do you see that happening?
It is a weekly chart, so I probably feel it will take more than 4 to 5 weeks, almost more than 2 months.
And what's the stop loss that you said?
Stop loss should be placed at 690 on closing basis, and target should be at 900.
So 690, that means another 60 rupee downside is something where the stop loss is.
Yes.
Would you recommend, if the counter comes down even lower, to start accumulating at that level?
Yeah, of course. If you look at closely on the chart, so we can make a trend line from this level to this level. So we'll get the first line of defense placed near about 720, 725. So that could be a great buying opportunity.
Okay, and do you see it coming back to levels of more than 1100 or 1200?
Yeah, of course. If stocks is managed to break out the 1000 level and manage to close above the 1000 level, so we may see probably the stock may heading towards the uncharted territory.
Okay, so that's a positive view that's coming in on Cummins. Thank you so much, Dhaneshwar. Raja, your view on Cummins India, are you positive?
Yeah, Cummins is definitely indicating a willingness to go up, and the momentum indicators are also supporting a rise. But I feel that the upside on Cummins is around 825, where it could face some resistance. So one could actually be looking to buy here, and on, of course, it's a buy on dips and sell on rallies market. So buy on dips towards 720 is also advocated. Target of around 825 is what I project, and stop loss below 700 is.
Okay, so similar amount of similar level of stop
Similar
loss that Dhaneshwar said. He said 690. What about you, Kunal?
So, Cummins India, again, we saw resistance near 780 mark. This stock tried making, attempt to go above that level, but it's not able to surpass that level. So I would wait for 780 to take out on the higher side. Once that level, is taken out on the higher side decisively, definitely 200 days moving average would work as a fantastic support, and you expect then 900 to come soon.
Okay, so positive views that coming in, and 780 is something that Kunal will watch out for. The other two guests are rather bullish on Cummins India at this point of time. And the final stock that we want to talk about is Tech Mahindra. And Jayesh, I believe it's a sell that the Bloomberg terminal has indicated.
That's right, Darshan. There's a sell call on Tech Mahindra as far as the Bloomberg terminal is concerned. based on the moving average convergence divergence indicator, which shows you the momentum between two moving averages of 12-day and 26-day. Now, the bottom panel shows you the MACD, which is what you have to watch out for. Now, if you zoom into this, you'll see that there is a crossover between the blue line and the white line. So you can see that the blue line has crossed from above to below and cut the white line, which means that this is a potential sell signal. And in the past also, we have seen that, whenever these kind of things have happened, the stock has in fact given you a slight bit of correction. If we can go back to the chart, we'll have a look at that as well. So the white dotted line is what I have drawn as the previous top that the stock actually encountered and then broke above that. So you have June to 29th, May, and in April also, where you have these three tops that were formed, and the stock after that retraced, and then right now it has crossed above. So maybe this was a false breakout over here. Once the stock starts dipping on the downside, these lines or these levels will come back into play. Historically also, it has worked well, because each time this signal has got triggered, downside has been in excess of 3.5% on each of the trades that were taken.
Okay, 3.5% potential downside on Tech Mahindra. Kunal, Tech Mahindra, it's a very strong chart. It's been on an uptrend. Would you take a counter bet on Tech Mahindra?
So no, I wouldn't actually go for counter bet. The reason being, the previous tops what he is highlighting is acting as a fantastic support. The second thing is MACD is little, lagging indicator kind of thing. Today's formation, if turns out to be the same fashion itself, I would consider that as the hammer which is coming at the bottom of this short-term downtrend rally. Considering today's low as a stop loss, one can actually think of going long on the counter, where we expect the new highs to come soon.
Okay, so a contradictory view coming in: a long on Tech Mahindra, a long or short on Tech Mahindra.
Yeah, I'll be a long because my moving average system says that it's a good pullback opportunity to initiate long, where your stop losses are close at hand. And with the IT pack moving, I would not like to be. The entire IT pack is doing well.
Okay, and
so
then
any pullbacks in IT pack is a buy opportunity.
Okay, any targets and stop loss for Tech Mahindra?
Around 775 on the upside.
775, and Dhaneshwar, long or short?
Yeah, I agree with both of you, because recently we have seen a spectacular rally, and stock is moving in a clear uptrend. And recently we have seen that the stock has given a 4 years multi-year breakout. And if you go to the monthly chart, so recently we have seen that the stock was unfolded into the corrective pattern, and in the last month it is managed to give the breakout of 4 months. And if you look at the today's low, it has taken the same support what the breakout has been happen at the level of 728. So I could see buying would be a great opportunity.
Okay, any targets on this?
On this, if you can go to the higher time frame charts like an yearly, so it has given a monthly breakout. So I would probably see the target of near about 850 on the Tech Mahindra.
Okay, so the Bloomberg terminal is saying a short, but our guests seem to be disagreeing, and they are saying on the long side. So only time will say what exactly happens to Tech Mahindra. But with that, it's a wrap on today's Hot Money. Kunal, thank you so much for coming in. Raja, Dhaneshwar, thank you so much for coming in again on the show. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg.